is Lucy Mworia, the president, CEO, and the founder of Lucy Mworia Network, my new TV channel, which will be focusing on the elderly in Kenya and around the world. This is a channel which is focusing on the aging and the retiring people in Kenya. And we'll be interviewing several people in this country out of their experiences, their wisdom, their education backgrounds, and their professionalism to advise and talk. We will put this one candid on the floor for people to know what is really going on the aging and the retiring in our society. Today, we have a guest with us, and this is a renowned political analyst and a commentator in our local TVs, a academician who lectures at Nairobi University, the president and founder of the Nairobi Review TV channel. He is also the president and the founder of Let's Talk Love, also another YouTube channel, which is also doing very well and training people. He's also an author and editor of many publications and academic books in this country and journals. So please help me welcome none other than Professor Herman Manyora. Karibu, Professor.
Thank you, Lucy. Thank you. Yes.
So, Professor, here you are. I'm happy to have you on the channel. Is it true that the aging and the retired in this country are being discriminated around the world?
You know, it is true in some parts of the world. The elderly have a problem, discrimination, abandonment. In Kenya, we are not yet there. We still are Africans. We mind our elders. We take care of our parents. But evidence of the same can be found in places like around Mount Kenya. I've done some research in Murang'a, Embu. At the coast, you know, they are not only discriminated, but they are in danger. All you need to have is some gray hair and even your own children want to kill you. In Kilifi and those sides of the coast, it's really dangerous. But we are not yet there where people have abandoned or discriminated against the elder. We are not yet quite there, but there's a danger we could get there soon.
So what is this discrimination you saw at the mountain where I come from? I thought we didn't have any.
No, you see, around Mount Kenya, what has happened, men have been forced initially, whenever the elderly, that will include men and even women, whenever you went for coffee payment, your children will want almost 3/4 of that money. Then it got to a point where they have forced their fathers to give them a share of tea plantations and coffee plantations, especially tea. That means they have left the man almost empty.
Wow.
So whereas a woman knows how to take care of herself within the homestead, the man maybe has a miserable pension. You know, our pensions are miserable. The tea that would give him some status in the home has been divided and subdivided, and boys have it. So it's just loitering in the town centers, local village market centers. They're really in big problems, But again, you must also know, and especially in the same areas of around Mount Kenya, where you call civilized, people are beginning to entertain and actually engage in this idea of taking their parents to homes of the elderly.
Are they there?
Yeah, they're there. You can ask the Catholic Church, it's running some of those homes. And I can tell you in the next 10 years, with these economic hardships, you'll see a lot of those. It's going to be a business very soon.
But is that a form of discrimination or is that a form of taking care of them?
You see, within the context of an African home, how do you take your mother? I've listened to stories that were aired on TV, documented, of women and men abandoned by their children. You can be heartbroken. So within an African context, how do you take your mother to all people's home? How do you take your father there?
Instead of being where?
With them.
You know, some of them, Professor, they have nowhere even to be with them. Some of these young people, they don't even have land, they don't even have homes. They are struggling from hand
I understand. Even as you struggle with your father and your mother together.
Okay.
You want to throw them away from the home.
I said some do not even have those homes. They are coming maybe up country. They are struggling on the streets of
The person
Nairobi.
who has no home, has nowhere to live, cannot even afford to take their parents to a children, old people's home. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a business soon. People are going to establish, actual people listening today, they should begin preparing. It's a good business. Just like mortuaries were never a business, and now all over the country is a big business. The next frontier of business is the people who are listening to Manyora today, who are going to prepare as a business to handle old people. It will begin with the people who are in America and diaspora. Their parents are here, nobody take care of them. They'll find a home there. But gradually, as society becomes more civilized, as you wish,
Like
more
I said,
selfish,
that
people
is
begin
care
to
now.
abandon
That is
which
care.
is really bad.
That is
But
care.
that's
no?
where we are heading. Yeah.
Okay, that's where we are heading.
Yes.
So, what is your experience as a political analyst, being in the engine group,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
with all this backlash from the young people
Yes. Yes.
that the elderly should not be contributing? Does age matter in matters of professionalism and productivity?
You know, Kenyans make a lot of noise when they hear an old man has been given a job. It's because we have a problem with employment in this country, because unemployment levels are very high. But also it's a question of ignorance. If you look at the average age of the captains of industry in America, you'll be surprised. If you look at the American Supreme Court, the greatest decision-making court in the world, there is no retirement age. You are there until you die. Imagine the Supreme Court of America and the kind of decisions it makes. There are people there. And Kenya here, people see somebody like 70 years, they think I'm too old. No, it's also not understanding. Leadership is not an ordinary job. If you go and get an ordinary job in a company or a government office, and you're a man of my age or older, that is bad. But if you are being given a leadership position, age should not be an issue.
And that's why I was talking about discrimination in the society.
Yes.
Just the other day, we had the parliament,
Yes.
Even now it is there. They're preparing a bill
Yes.
to cut the age of presidents in Kenya.
Yes.
That's only 75 years. Like you said, I've also lived in the West.
Yes.
From 75 is when people starting joining politics in the US
Yes.
and other countries.
Look at the Senate. Look at the US Senate.
Yes.
So,
and even the oldest is 95.
Yeah, it's because of ignorance. Kenyans are a bit ignorant in that line. Decision making, leadership of a country, of an organization, captain of an industry, age shouldn't be a very big consideration. In fact, sometimes the older the better. The kind of experience you have accumulated over the years. So when you say president should not be 75, 75 is a young boy. Look at Raila, he's 77. Some of us can't even compete with him in running. He'll beat you.
So, Professor, how has been your experience as a university professor?
Yes.
Teaching the young people.
Yes.
The young people who are still saying aging is not okay. And you are standing in front of them.
But where we, in our sector is different. In fact, it's only recently that young people teach at university. When we were growing up, all our professors were old people. And globally, because academics, to acquire that experience and the requisite papers and experience to become a senior university teacher takes time. It's not something you can acquire when you are young. So there it's normal, it's natural. Actually, the discrimination you are saying, very unfortunately, has been brought right up with the university. Where in the past 5 or so years, government insists that when somebody has retired, no contract. Now, that is okay in the civil service, but they have brought it right to the university. So you find a 70-year professor being told to go home. A man, if he's a well-qualified professor, even Harvard University can take him with both open hands and pay him well. And here you are, a poor country who need these resourceful people. You are following a circular from the civil service, affecting normal civil servants, and you are implementing it within the university. Nothing is more laughable than that.
And Professor, as a country, do you think, besides people like you can still be teachers at the university when you are still aged. I'm not saying you're old, Professor.
No,
I'm saying you are aging.
I'm young, I know.
You are aging.
Yes.
You know, age actually starts from the day you were born.
Yes.
So when we are talking about aging and retirement,
Yes.
everyone,
It's a biological
including, it's
process,
a biological process, it's
Yes.
inevitable.
Yeah.
So do you think our aged and the retired in our country, they are getting what they need to be getting from the government, from us as a country? Are we taking the care that we need to be taking care of them?
Absolutely no. As earlier when I told you, there are people who are on pension. They are miserable. Their coffee has been taken by their children. Their tea plantations subdivided. They are surviving on miserable pension. There is nothing more miserable in this country than a pension. If you look at the people who retired 20 years ago, people you respected and feared, DC, DO, principal. If you look at their retirement package, you run 5,000 shillings, 4,000, 9,000. A senior police officer, senior up there, number from the commissioner of police down there, senior superintendent. I seen a friend of mine, 22,000 shillings. Very senior police officer. And he didn't retire those many years ago. This is just when the police now had better salaries. So you can imagine those who had retired before him. So we don't seem to be caring for our pensioners. And there are people who gave everything, all their life to this country.
And when I'm talking
America,
about,
you see, takes care of its veterans.
When I'm talking about the retired and the aged,
yes.
Remember, it's only 20% of the aged and the retired Kenyans who have been working somewhere, maybe for the government or in schools like you. 80% have also been contributing, very productive to this country. They were farmers, they were mokokoteni guys, they were matatu drivers, they were all these.
Correct.
Now, they don't have even that little pension.
Yes.
What do you think on that?
As a country, we have made an attempt. You know, the stipend given to those over 70, the stipend, but it has not been widespread. It began, I think, experimentally, a few people. Then progressively it became a lot, and Raila was trying to build on that by making it available, not just to the elderly, but to anybody outside gainful employment at 6,000 shillings, which is an attempt. But as a country, you are judged by how you take care of the vulnerable. And in this respect, if you cannot take care of your age, then nobody can respect you. In France, they were forced to come up with a law to force young people to take care of their parents because there was a harsh winter. And at the end of that winter, they found many dead people had frozen in their homes because they had been abandoned by their children. So I think there's a law in place. I don't have the details, which kind of obligates young people to take care of their parents. And China also has the same, some kind of legislation. Yeah.
So, Professor, out of what is your worst experience as an aging professor that you have experienced that you think or you felt it made you feel, I wish I was young?
That's a difficult question. I'm not in the business of wishing and regretting, and no, I just live my life. You know, the beauty of me, my life is a simple life. So a man with a simple life like me.
That experience could have come maybe on the social media, on Facebook.
Of course, yeah.
Maybe on the campaign trails.
When young people insult you, like me, I'm active on Twitter. They think you are supporting Raila, and then they tell you funny things on Twitter. But all the people have bad experiences. You enter Matatu and these boys just treat you like rubbish.
Yeah.
So I have been telling people from what I see now, it's becoming difficult for an old person to live in this city. You will not live in this city if you are beyond 60. Because everywhere you go, everybody's young, you are the only one. And you enter Matatu, the music's loud, nobody respects you, you feel you don't belong here. So I mean, collectively, generally speaking, we are making, especially this city, very uncomfortable for the elderly.
So, Professor, do you think this kind of a channel, which is out to give it, to discuss things as they are, to make the older also understand these young ones, do you think is a necessary channel?
It's long overdue. It's long overdue. If my plate was not full, I had already thought about it. It's long overdue. because we need to appreciate those who are old. Just as we say when you put up buildings, and run matatus and buses, we need to think of the disabled. The old people are now in that category of disabled, and we must take care of them. Within our policies, within our laws, we must provide much more for our elderly. And if we have a platform where Kenyans can have a conversation
Like
around the
one.
issue of aging and how to appreciate our fathers and our grandfathers, how to take care of them, how to remove the shame of letting them suffer when you are enjoying life. You know, the idea of you buying your mother Mulika Muiza and you buy your girlfriend an iPhone during Valentine. That you've seen that thing doing the rounds. Yeah, we must move away from that. Respect our, and so this channel is welcome.
So thank you, Professor. And because time is up, almost up, and we're almost winding up, I'd like you to look at the viewers.
Yes.
I'd like you to advise the young who think the elderly, the aging, and the retired in this country, especially our country, they have no room. They should just go home and rot there and wait for their death. I would also like you to advise, to talk to the elderly and tell them what you think they deserve or they should do.
I think for my fellow elders, the best thing is for you to age with grace. Don't over-expect from your children. You could end up cursing them. Avoid that. And for the young people, obviously, you too will become old at some point. So treat your elders well. Do not follow what is happening in the West. You see, in the West, you can abandon your father and your mother because the society is well-structured, has institutions to support the elderly. If something happened to your dad who is 70, 80 years, 90 years, all they will need is a telephone call, 999, and the government will be outside there in a couple of minutes. Here, you don't have that. So you need to take care of your elderly. Remember, avoid the shame of having people look at your father and wonder, real, is this the man we see driving the latest BMW? And this is the mother. Because the way life works, one day, people will be forced to go to your home for some reason. And what they will come across in the name of your parents can embarrass you beyond repair. So just take care of your parents. Luckily for you young people, there are not many old people who expect too much from their parents, from their children. The happiness of an old man is to see their children doing well. If you buy him a kabuti, he will bless you. He doesn't need a car from you.
Thank you so much. That is the wisdom from our aging professor who has experience in every way, from the classroom to the aging, to the women, to the youth, to all of us. And we are looking forward to meeting you again.
Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.